Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the TSLA.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, take a moment out, support the channel. All I ask is click a like if you like what we're doing, if I'm providing value for you, and hopefully I will continue to do my best. So if you watched, again, everything I do, my whole approach is based on the previous day's research. If you've been following this channel for a while, you kind of know that I'm not looking to try to guess where a stock is going to be a year from now, 6 months from now. What I'm looking for is tangible information that can give us the low-hanging fruit for tomorrow. If you go back to the weekend video, we talked about, phenomenal. It's an absolutely phenomenal move from the 50-day reclaim of the NASDAQ 100. We talked about this potential inverted hammer. Again, I don't want to use the word top. I want to use the word pause. Anytime you see an inverted hammer, and that's literally what you see, or this little baby thing, reverse, right? A hammer is bullish, inverted hammers, well, again, I don't use the word bearish, but you know what I'm saying. So today we've got a little bit of softness, not that big of a deal. You had a lot of names that had big runs kind of resting. You had some names that were waking up, confirming their levels from last week. And then you saw some pretty aggressive headlines coming across during the day and after the close. We'll get to that. But I want to talk about specifically, the beta space, right? The beta space. And let's start off with Tesla, right? So Tesla, again, going back to the weekend update, I talked about I had really no interest of buying stock into strength. I thought a 25-point move in 3 days was kind of a big move and needed a little bit of a rest, a little bit of breathing. What I didn't anticipate is us being short below the 5-day moving average and for it to go back to the 50-day moving average. I didn't expect it, but yada, 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 here we are. So Tesla this morning got a downgrade, right? Got a downgrade. Same thing kind of with the cues of this inverted hammer. Same thing with Tesla. Again, going back to the weekend video, you kind of hear me talk about, kind of what I'm thinking for today. And the ironic part was, so it got downgraded, kind of a weak downgrade, but nevertheless, it got downgraded. And I've always said breakout levels or major levels of reclaiming, there's a really good opportunity at some point that they will retest just because of gravity, just because stocks don't go straight up. Like I said, just because the stock market reclaimed back the 50-day moving average doesn't mean we have to go up every single day. There will be nasty pulls, and the same thing with the downside. When we had a nasty pull below the 50-day, there were some pretty aggressive areas of spikeage during that time. So I knew there was a chance that Tesla could be heavy today. And then I found us sitting at the 5-day moving average on this 445 area. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, guys. We all know what happens, right? We know if you've been following along for many years, you kind of know the 5-day moving average for me is the short-term sentiment. Whoever has control of the 5-day moving average has control of short-term sentiment. So we got short below the 5-day moving average. Initially, there was a reload buyer in the crowd, like $1 and change lower. It just kind of sat there, and then they finally cleaned them up, and the stock got absolutely murdered, right? Absolutely murdered. Caught a great trade, caught a really great trade into the 50-day moving average. And then we kind of talked about up here. I said, guys, I'm done with Tesla. That was the short, right? That was the short. So here is basically where the second aspect of the day happened. And I said, look, for experienced traders, keep an eye on that 435. That is the retest level of the 50-day moving average. If the bulls can hold, right? If the bulls can hold and have a successful retest of the 50-day, which a lot of names do after their significant breakout, there's a really good chance it could get a pretty aggressive bounce. It didn't get an aggressive bounce, but it did get a perfect bounce off the 435 level. And here it was Tesla, right? So it lost the 5-day. I got short. And then it hit the 5-day perfectly. See this 525, this little aqua line? It hit it perfectly. 525. And now, yada, 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 the stock is trading 440 after hours. So now the question going into Tesla for tomorrow is it out of the woods, right? Was this just a successful back test, right? Successful back test into the 50-day. It shook some trees. It accomplished its goal, and now it's going to go back to back above the 5-day moving average and back to recent highs. Okay, I'm aboard, right? I'm aboard with that. But here's kind of where I take off my rose-colored glasses and I always play devil's advocate. Well, again, I'm a romantic like everybody else, right? I love a good romance novel. I love the idea that we successfully tested the 50-day and now we're going to bounce to the highs from Friday. I'm all about that. However, something tells me on the other side of my shoulder, right? Well, Dan, there's two sides of the market. We retested the 50-day moving average. We rebounced. Now what happens? Should I say it? I shouldn't say it, right? Should I say it? Okay, I'll say it. If you have virgin ears, leave the room. I don't want this to happen. I don't need this to happen. However, what happens, and again, we're just talking here, what happens if we lose the 50-day moving average in the next couple of days? Because at least now we have a line in the sand. Again, I don't want it to happen, but I'm about that life, son, right? Doesn't make a difference to me which way the stock goes. So now we have a definitive line in the sand at the 50-day moving average. Because again, guys, any close below the 50-day and Tesla starts testing all the way back to the bottom area. I don't think it's going to happen, but damn sure I will be prepared in case it does. And again, look at the last time it lost the 50-day moving average, went from 421 all the way down to 483 in a matter of 5 days. So again, I don't want it to happen, but at least let's now have an intelligent discussion in case it does. So that's on Tesla. Google, right? Google, if you guys have been watching the video, there's been a really big range for the last few weeks. And I said, guys, watch the bottom of the range, watch from the bottom of the range. Google finally lost the bottom of the range, survived the 10-day support. But look at the move here, guys, right? Look at the move here. So here was Google, right? So here was Google, 313.89 held 3 times. If it builds below, can flush. Google had a really nice flush, right? Lost this whole 1389 level, traded down to 11. Now, why is that important? Because if indeed it does confirm in the next few days, then this thing has room all the way down to 303. Again, it's just one of those scenarios that we don't want it to happen. We don't need it to happen. But damn it, if it confirms today's channel, again, I will be all up in this, son. So Google, right? Nice move on Google. And again, the weakness on some of these names, considering we're so strong, it doesn't bother me, right? It doesn't bother me. It just makes me really, really aware that things can happen out of the blue. And if you're not prepared on both sides of the market, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it really well. And again, I've been saying this for years. Unless you trade both sides of the market, it's very tough to label yourself as a trader. If you're only long biased and all you do is hold stocks throughout the whole, a really good bullish interval, you're a holder. You're not a trader, you're a holder. And that's okay with that, right? But if you are a trader, always be prepared on both sides of the market. So here's where things got interesting, right? So we had a pivot, a lunchtime pivot on Nvidia. 185.70 needs to build, right? So that was last week's highs. And in the middle of the day, we started seeing really aggressive 190, 192.50 weeklies coming in, one after another after another. Now, usually when you get those type of bets, deep out of the money bets, something is going to fall, right? So when I was at lunch, and I missed this pivot, but when I was at lunch, you got reports, right? Reports that the U.S. Commerce to open up exports of Nvidia's H200 chips to China. And as you can imagine, the stock spiked, right? Spiked up about a couple of bucks. After the close, we got a little bit more color, and Mr. Trump weighed in, and he said, I'm just reading this, I have informed the president of China that the United States will allow Nvidia to ship its H200 products to approved customers in China and other countries under the conditions that allows us for continued long and strong national security. The president of China then responded positively that 25% will be paid to the United States of America. As you can imagine, Nvidia is spiking really, really aggressively after hours, right? After hours is spiking really, really aggressively after hours. And now Nvidia has reclaimed back the 50-day moving average as of right now going into tomorrow's session. Again, above the 50-day bullish, below the 50 days bearish. You got 190, 192.50 calls coming in. We saw some January $200 calls coming in on Nvidia, but super aggressive move. And now it's spiking for higher prices for tomorrow. Let's see what else we have today. Man, today's one big blur here. Roku, right? Yeah. Meta is still waiting for that 50-day break. Microsoft. Remember we talked about Microsoft on last night's video? 484.25 needs to build. Now, why was 424? Why was that area important? Because that was getting back above the 5-10-day cross. Microsoft went out of its mind, guys, out of its mind. And not a lot of people usually look at the 5 and 10-day moving average, especially underneath the 50-day moving average. But I noticed in the last couple of days, there was some pretty decent buyers coming in. They were just kind of walking the stock up. And look at the move here, folks. Look at the move here at the open. Went from 84 all the way up to 92. If you look at the daily chart, still has more room up, man. If it can now confirm the November channel, this thing has room back to 500. So amazing move. Really, really amazing move on Microsoft. Then the other, other stuff. Roku, again, reclaimed the 50-day moving average. Again, 50-day. Tell me if you heard this before. 101.30, 50-day reclaim, right? So here was Roku. I believe we talked about Roku on the weekend video as well, right? So got above the 101.30, traded up to 103. It still looks higher, right? It still looks higher. Google, we talked about. Tesla, we talked about. Nvidia, we just talked about. DBRG, not a big move. 1484 went to like 1520s. I believe that is it. I also got a new garage door thingy-majingy today. Very exciting news. But other than that, that's pretty cool stuff. So tomorrow, we did have a definitive line in the sand on Tesla, reclaiming back the 50-day moving average. Nvidia now is back above the 50-day moving average. Let's see if it has legs and potentially could extend to that 190, 192, 50 next area of supply. We have Microsoft for a potential day two. Look at Robinhood. Robinhood, nice consolidation above the 50-day moving average. The buyers coming in for the 140 short term. So keep an eye on that as well. Busy day, guys. Really, really busy day. Really great job. Very, very impressive. Action, both way action. So Nvidia right now is going out of its mind. I think by the time you watch this video right now, it's approaching 190. Hopefully everyone is doing great. Hopefully everybody's having a great, wonderful holiday season. And with God's help, I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.